Well, good morning, folks. This is Jerry. I'm in downtown St. John's at the Mineral Resources Review 2025. This is a hybrid interview, and the reason being is that the weather did not cooperate. This is Kaitlyn. She's going to introduce herself in a second, but I'm extremely happy to say that they are the sponsor for today. So there's many ways to approach a sponsorship. Ideally, you would have loved to be here, but the weather didn't cooperate and her flight would have gotten in tomorrow when the show was over. So the next best thing to do is do this digitally. So Kaitlyn, please introduce yourself and we'll talk a little bit about your company.
Yeah, thank you so much. So my name is Kaitlyn Keller. I am the manager of sector innovation for a group called Genome Atlantic. And as Gary mentioned, I would have loved to be there today. Your weather had other plans, but thank you so much for being accommodating and allowing me to touch base virtually.
So thank you for your sponsorship and getting thought leadership out in the mining sector. This is Gale Force Wind's 7th show. It's sponsors like you that make that happen. So thank you. The first question I had when I found out that you were sponsoring this is, Genome Atlantic? What's the synergy between you and the mining sector? So let's get that out of the way right away.
Absolutely. And you know what? You are not the first person to ask that question. So I'd say before answering the synergy question, I might just give you a little bit of background into who we are, because that'll kind of lead into why we have an interest and a connection to mining. So we're a not-for-profit that has existed since about 2000. So we've been around for 25 years.
Wow.
And our main objective is, as an organization, is to serve Atlantic Canada or Atlantic Canadians by driving economic benefit or enabling economic benefit and development through funding projects that have some sort of genomic R&D involved in them. And we do that across various sectors, including mining. So the reason that we're interested in mining is because we see this phenomenal opportunity to potentially drive or encourage innovation in the mining space through having this incorporation of, we call them genomic, but you could also replace the word genomic with like biological or nature-based tools. And they have this amazing potential to both maybe improve the environmental impact that mining can have, and also potentially drive more value through extracting additional minerals, both from mine tailings and, say, reprocessing tailings as well. Or sorry, mine ore and reprocessing tailings.
It's fascinating, and I'm struggling to a little bit understand what it is that you're doing. But so you're and I didn't realize you're a nonprofit. That's interesting, very interesting.
Yeah.
And how long have you been in the mining sector, or are you just now trying to move into that space?
Yeah, that's a great question. So technically, we've been in the mining sector for many years, but I would say that getting uptake in the sector has been a bit of a challenge in previous years, but we felt that this was the year to really push that further, drive that additional engagement. And the reason being is, we see this reinvigorated interest by both federal and provincial governments who are recognizing, rightly so, that mining is needed. We have an amazing resource here in Canada, and you just mining is critical, and we are going to continue to have this demand for critical and base minerals, and the supply is just not there. So our strategy this time around was to actually write a sector intel report, or do a sector intel report and try and figure out how can so we wanted to do a sector intel report and basically get an idea of the challenges and barriers that the Atlantic Canadian mining sector is facing.
Right.
and then overlay that with a genomics perspective to say, are there any tools that are either already existing or in development that could actually be applied to this space that could help either solve these barriers or at the very least improve them?
That's fascinating.
And we
Yeah.
saw a lot of synergy between the two.
So it's a research document that you have, and is it public, or that's where you would engage with a proponent? Is that how it works?
Yeah, exactly. So we hired two consulting companies to help us perform the report. It was interview based basically. So we chose a handful of stakeholders across Atlantic Canada that exist within the mining industry, got their feedback on a couple of key questions, and through that information pulled out the consulting company pulled out what they saw as common themes. And then we worked with somebody who is a specialist in genomics and mining, and they overlaid that with, okay, because they had a lay of the land, right? They knew what tools are either already on the market or were kind of under development on the research side of things. And they were able to say, okay, well, we see, for example, mine tailings as a really common theme across the provinces. And I know of this tool that's being used over here and this tool that's being used over here. And so the document will be public in the near future. We're going to publish it. It's just in the stage right now of kind of being cleaned up and finalized. But you can either access it through our website at genomeatlantic.com or .ca, or also reach out to somebody from our organization and send you a copy as well.
That's free to any mining company? They don't have to pay for that? Wow.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just want to encourage innovation, right? So that's a big purpose of the document, is wanting to kind of inspire project ideas. And actually, the document itself is also going to be followed up by a funding call. So we're going to have a pocket of money that we're also going to be saying, hey, if you read this document and you have an exciting project idea, please reach out. And we have a bit of funding to help you get some pilot data for that.
Now that's interesting. I can see where some of the junior mining companies and that would be very interested in that. What's the document called again?
As of now, the working title is Genomics and Mining in Atlantic Canada and Genomics Enabled Solutions for Mining in Atlantic Canada. So it's a bit of a title. It might change. It might be adjusted a little bit, but the idea is genomic enabled solutions, basically. In Atlantic Canada specifically. So we really wanted to make sure that we were addressing challenges that exist in the Atlantic Canadian mining space specifically.
That's amazing. So genomeatlantic.ca, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And then is it up there yet, or it'll be up there shortly?
No, give us a few weeks.
Okay.
We're just kind of cleaning it up a little bit, but it's almost there.
Kaitlyn, I got to say thank you for being the sponsor, because you are willing to invest in us today, and you're still a couple of weeks away from actually having this up there. That's not the way some people would do it, but I love it, because this is why the Mineral Resources Review is so important, because this kind of conversation is giving them information that will allow people to be better at what they do, right?
Well, and that's like the whole ethos around how we function is we don't just invest in something to necessarily get a direct benefit from it in that moment. Like we've actually been attending mining conferences for years. It's just that we really wanted to put a little bit more effort this time around. Because again, we're not for profit, right? Like we're not getting paid for this ourselves. We just want to see this benefit come back to Atlantic Canada. And hence why we wanted to just talk about it, to chat about it, to do this report.
Well, not only that, from what you've said, you are becoming a source for funding for some of these companies in the industry, correct?
Yeah, that's the goal. Yes.
That to me is worth its weight pardon the pun, in gold, because you're coming on here to tell the mining sector that you have this research and you have access to funding. So folks, what I would recommend is you go to genomeatlantic.ca whenever it gets posted. Read the document. There's access to funding there to help you as a company be better. Kaitlyn, is there anything else you would like to tell the folks that are going to watch this?
No, the only thing I would like to mention is you can also feel free to reach out to me directly if you want. If you have questions, or if you both want access to the document, or want to talk about potential project idea, or even just chat. I'm quite friendly. Feel free to. My email is Keller@genomeatlantic.ca, and I'd be more than happy to connect.
Keller@genomeatlantic.ca. Kaitlyn, yes. I can't begin to thank you enough for being the sponsor today and breaking news with us. Even though I put you on the spot, it's the way we like doing things. This is an authentic conversation with a company, a charitable company that is doing things for the industry and breaking news. So again, thank you for being the sponsor. Thank you for what you do. It's very interesting. And I understand now more why you're doing the sponsorship. So thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Thank you so much for having me, and for being so welcoming and accommodating.
I will say there's another mining show happening in February in Lab City. You want to find interesting weather, but that might be one to go to. So,
okay, fair enough.
Folks,
I'll look into that. Thank you.
Yes, I'll give you some information after. Folks, this is Jerry. I'm with Gale Force Winds. We're live from the Mineral Resources Review. Kaitlyn is in Halifax, I believe.
Yes.
Unfortunately, she couldn't get here, as I said at the beginning, but this is using the technology to make sure that her sponsorship and their message gets out there. Kaitlyn, thank you for joining Gale Force Winds.
Thank you so much, Jerry. I hope everybody has a great day.